Hey, Phantomaniacs, welcome to Turtle Tuesday here on the Needless Things YouTube channel, provided I remember to put it up in that order. Today we are taking a look at yet another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Universal Monsters mashup, Donatello as the Invisible Man. So, Donatello is my favorite Ninja Turtle. The Invisible Man, not necessarily my favorite Universal Monster. Although I do think it's one of the best Universal Monsters movies. But I've been loving these figures. I kind of put getting this one off for a while. Same thing with the Splinter as Van Helsing. They just weren't as exciting to me as the other ones. And then what always happened. I was in the store. They didn't have anything else because, my gosh, Target has been barren for months and months and months now, except for when they get NECA stuff in. And I was like, you know what? I need to get this. If I don't, I'm going to regret it. Beautiful box. I do love this box. The colors, the artwork, everything just looks really fantastic. For some reason, this one seems more eye-catching than the others. And I think it's these bright, the purple and the orange just look really nice. And then on the back, we of course have the fantastic poster-style artwork with all the images of Donatello with the invisible shell, which we'll get to. Now that I've got this in hand, I'm much more excited about it than I was previously. I think this is going to end up being a sleeper hit of the whole line. You'll never see him coming. Madman or genius, you decide. It is great. It is just fantastic. On the side, of course, we've got the cross-sell with the other turtles and April. And we open it up, and there he is. Again, not necessarily looking all that exciting, but I think the thing that doesn't stand out as much is all the nice invisible pieces in the back here. So let's go ahead and get him out of there. Of course, first we've got to do the shout out to everybody who took part in bringing this incredible action figure to life. I love that NECA puts the credits on their boxes. So let's just open this up. This box seems larger than the other ones to me. And it might be those extra pieces that are in there. We'll find out. But it just seems like it is larger. And these are large boxes in the first place because these figures are huge. So we'll see what all is in here. And right there, oh man, look at the invisible parts. See, this is what I kind of didn't realize was in here until I started looking more closely at the box. All of the invisible hands and feet. Well, I say all. It's a set of invisible hands and feet. That's pretty great, and there's a good chance. Look at the shell. Holy cow. Okay. Let's see how bad these plastic strips are going to be. Not terrible. They could stand to be a little stretchier, but those weren't too bad. And I think that's it. Yeah. Should be able to get them out of there now. Let's pop all these extra parts out. And of course, he's got his bow staff, which some conversation on bow staffs. I recently reviewed the... Oh man, I want to be careful with that microscope. That looks delicate, potentially. Let's see. So, if you haven't watched it... There we go. Whew, that was scary. If you haven't watched it, I reviewed the Mirage Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4-pack that came out recently and has disappeared. I have not seen it since I bought mine. Oh, there is another stupid plastic thing in there. So that 4-pack, during the review, I mentioned that Donatello's bow staff seemed a little short, and throughout history, his bow staff has been kind of has often seemed shorter than maybe it could be. But I just kind of chalked it up to, well, if a bow staff were the same height as the person using it, it seems like that would be really weird and not work well. Somebody chimed in on the comments, which I always appreciate. Not sure if I just busted myself open on something. What a disaster. Let's hope that doesn't bleed too much. Maybe I can finish this video up before I go put a Band-Aid on. So anyway, he commented that the bow staff should come up about to the person's shoulder, and that it did look like the one that was included with that Donatello was a little short. So, I'm sorry, no, I had said it should be the shoulder. They said the bow staff should be the height of the person using it, which seems long to me, but I am not a ninjologist, so I cannot speak to the proper sizing of bow staffs. All right, so just at first glance, not the most exciting of the Universal Monsters Ninja Turtles. Now he does, he's got the elbow pads and the knee pads, which I'm okay with those being. It's funny, if I were a kid, I would be annoyed that the elbow pads and the knee pads and everything were on top of his clothing. That would seem dumb to me. But now as an adult, I appreciate that that's what the original Turtles mashup figures looked like. They had all of the turtle gear on top of whatever their costume was. So I appreciate that that's what they've gone with here, because obviously these are somewhat ridiculous concepts anyway. So I like that. I'm glad they went that direction with it. And it makes it more, what's the word? Toyetic. So I have an appreciation for that. I like it. I know they've used this kind of mechanism before for his bow staff. I don't think I love it. I think the movie Turtles might use this, which makes sense because these are essentially kind of the movie Turtles. You can see his invisible toes sticking out of the bandages, which is a really nice touch. His jacket he's actually got articulation, a really flexible ball joint that doesn't break up the profile of the trench coat. I think that's a really nice touch. I like that they have put him in more action-oriented gear here than like a smoking jacket or something like that. It just, it makes sense for kind of the theme of whatever we're doing with these Universal Monsters Turtles. There's no bicep swivel, but you've got a swivel at the top of the elbow joint and at the bottom of the second elbow joint. That is a double jointed elbow. That doesn't give you a full. Yeah, you get almost 90 degrees out of that. Oh, you can get more. Okay, you have to. There you go. You just kind of move it around the elbow pad, and you can get a nice deep bend in there. Because the elbow pad it's attached at the back here, and this part of it, you can kind of move things around a little bit to maximize the articulation you can get out of that. So that's very nice, very well done. Look at he's got the buttons everywhere sculpted and painted on the coat. Purple, still extremely well done, but again, just not super exciting. I like the purple sort of wrapped sweater, scarf, whatever's going on up here. He's got the goggles that also have a purple. Oh, nice. Okay, great. That's great. So the goggles in the package are on Donatello, but they do. Now they come. Yeah, they do come all the way off. And look at that. He's actually got translucent plastic where his eyes are. Oh, that's fantastic. I really love that. So you can kind of, if you want to, kind of put him up on his head to reveal those just empty eye sockets. That's great. Oh, I love that. We've got the, as mentioned, he's got the translucent shell that is not. It doesn't open. It's not removable or anything. But I like that they threw the pizza in there. That's another very like original Turtles Playmates touch, I think. Very nice. And it is just sort of sitting there. I'm not going to fiddle with it too much more because I don't think there's any intent that this should be removable. And I'm sure those are the same pieces of pizza that came with the movie Turtles. Gosh, I'm so impressed with this waist joint. This is really, really nice. Hip joints, he's got the standard issue hip joints. The coat is going to interfere a little bit, but that's okay because the look of the figure, I think it earns it. He's got standard ankles. Very interesting how they do all this. And then he does have... So there's a swivel at the top of the knee, but it is just a single jointed knee, I think. Yeah. Which is fine because of the trench coat bottom. You're only going to get so many poses out of that. So that's to me, that's not a problem. I like when the articulation is designed to complement the aesthetic and the profile of the figure rather than just, well, they're all articulated this way, so we just have to do this. So, looks pretty cool. Like I said, maybe not the most exciting of the Universal Monsters Turtles, but really cool figure. I love the choices they made to make him sort of more exciting. So let's take a look at the accessories. Like I say, he's got his bow staff, which is actually taller than he is. So this is on the larger side of the bow staffs. But so like my thought was it just doesn't seem practical for a bow staff to be the same height as the person wielding it. But it does just look cooler as a toy, doesn't it? Like, when it's too short, it looks a little silly, and you get that with the movie Turtles, where it seems just a little short. Oh, wait. He does not have C-grips in right now. But I like the way they did the wrappings differently as well. It's kind of, rather than being focused in the center, it's just kind of done differently. And then the paint... the paint and the sculpt. I mean, it's NECA. It's NECA standard. They're just the best in the business right now. The wood grain on the staff itself just looks great. Okay, and we've got an alternate head with hair sticking out, which really doesn't make any sense at all, but I'm okay with it because he's got a wig on. It's fine. He didn't have hair before, but he does now. He felt he needed it to complete the illusion. And this one is completely hollow, much like you can check out my review of the regular Invisible Man figure. Very similar setup here. So I like that. Looks good. He's got his hat. Oh, well, wait a minute. Okay, there we go. Yes, it does kind of hold into place. It's a softer plastic, so it just kind of, when you push it down onto the head, it just fits on there and stays on there. Very well done. You have his, oh, how nice is that? So his journal with all of his scientific knowledge, but it's TGRI. That's a great little touch. I love that. I love the little buckle closure on it. That's great. I would imagine we've seen this book before from NECA. But whatever the case, just looks cool. Nice addition. And then, of course, the microscope, which is awesome and far more, like, that's just great. It looks great. Look, it's even got... right here where the slide would go, it's even open. Like, just the thought and detail that NECA puts into this stuff is just unbelievable. And then finally, we've got The little glass with the stirring rod, it is glued into place. That's fine. But really nice translucent plastic, nothing cloudy here. It just looks like glass. Looks great. And then finally, all of the various other hands and feet, which is perhaps a first for NECA. I could be wrong, but I don't remember interchangeable feet before. I really like these, and they are fully jointed. The discs are white. I'm fine with that because you can't use this kind of plastic for this kind of joint. If you look at any translucent figures, this is generally what they look like. I think it's fine. It works. It looks great. We'll see in a second how easy those are to swap out. Translucent hands, which are C-grip hands, so that's nice. And then an assortment of gloved hands. You've got pointing, kind of an open gesturing hands, or kung fu hands, if you will. And then C-grips. And then a different C-grip that's probably for that cup, if I had to guess. Yeah, I think so. I believe that's for the glass. All right, so let's see how easy it is to swap these. Oh, man, they pop right out. That's great. That is the right foot. The legs are a relatively pliable plastic. They're sturdy, they're solid, but fortunately, for the purposes of people who want to switch these feet out, which is me, look at that. That's so goofy, but so wonderful. They pop right out, and the arms, I would imagine, yeah, their arms are the same way. NECA has really, I say this in, I think, every NECA review I do, but they have really mastered their materials as far as keeping things swappable and sturdy and pliable. They really have figured out exactly what they're doing with all of these things. Gone are the days where you really had to worry about the pegs breaking or, other disastrous things happening. NECA really has gotten to a point where you can, with a reasonable amount of care, I'm not saying just go crazy with this stuff, but there is now a reasonable expectation that you can swap the parts and stand the figures and whatever else without having to worry too much about breakage or anything like that. Like they really have gotten to a great place. So there he is. That is Donatello as the Invisible Man. I love it. I can't wait to get him on the shelf with the other turtles. I think they did just a really nice job of making what isn't the most interesting of the monsters into something really cool and special with this Donatello. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about Needless Things. Come back for all kinds of other toy reviews. And remember, I love being an invisible turtle.
Smash that like button if you like Needless Things.